I'm going to start with a poem, a short poem. Come to the edge, it's too high. Come to the edge, we might fall. Come to the edge, and we pushed, they came, and we pushed, and they flew. And that poem was written by Christopher Logue in the 1960s. It was actually used for the advertising campaign for an exhibition at the ICA, which celebrated the anniversary of the death of Apollinaire 50 years previously. And the reason I've used it is because when I was sitting on the steps nervously waiting for my Birkbeck interview some years ago, and some years after I'd left school, that's exactly how I felt. I'd come to this edge, I wasn't sure if I could jump off, I wasn't sure I was going to get in, I wasn't sure what was going to happen. I'd sort of drifted through school. I think school rather passed me by. I don't actually really recall much of it. I left it very unmotivated and unexceptional really in probably every way at school. It wasn't really for me at that age. So as soon as I was 16, I was out that door and sort of fell into Lloyd's as a gopher in a Lloyd's broking firm, opening the post, making the tea, doing that sort of stuff. And 15 years later, I ended up as the managing director of that company. And I thought then, this isn't really for me. And a meeting with an educational psychologist encouraged me to think that even though without A-levels, I could do a degree. So I knew how to do my job as the managing director, that was sort of easy, but oh my gosh, going to Birkbeck, starting to study, that felt quite scary, quite uncertain. So in I jumped, I did my degree, and a year into the degree, I left the city and moved into the arts, and I took a big reduction in salary, 90% reduction. And so during that time, my Birkbeck fees went from being something that, to be honest, was petty cash, I hardly even noticed it, to I couldn't really afford to pay the fees. I was really, really struggling to pay them. But I did, and I got through, and I did the degree, and I moved through the arts and various jobs. And I started supporting Birkbeck, actually, after I started earning my money again, just because I wanted to ensure, that people didn't have that experience that I had. So I'm here today, and there are 3 reasons why I support Birkbeck. Firstly, I think that school isn't always for children at the time when they're there. You know, it doesn't mean they're not bright or able. Sometimes there are reasons to do with their home life, their family life, which means they don't make the most of themselves. And I think as adults, needing to make the most of ourselves, to be members of society and play the full role that we can, could not be more important. And actually doing education as an adult, when you have life experience plus education, is completely different, I think, to doing it when you were young. So that's the first thing, the value of that. The second is the financial motivation. It's often a barrier. And it was for me, actually, in the middle of my degree. And to be honest, I felt rather diffident of admitting that I couldn't really pay the fees, and I didn't really know where to go to get help, because I did my degree quite a few years ago, before the days of Adrian and his lovely team that make it all so easy. And thirdly, intellectual capital, I think, is more important than ever. It's been mentioned. I think that ongoing learning throughout your life is just vital, 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 vital. And that's what Birkbeck provides, both in Mallet Street and in Stratford. And in fact, tonight, I sort of wanted to end by saying something that I've been thinking about for quite a while, and I thought I'd say it now and then write it down, just in case I get run over by the proverbial 38 bus tomorrow morning, which is that after I, obviously not on this earth anymore, I'm going to leave whatever money there is to Birkbeck. Because I think I've sort of thought about it quite a lot. I've got several nephews and nieces and godchildren, and actually they're all quite well provided for. And I think probably the best use of any money that I have, which comes from the life that I've spent working, is probably best used to educating other people. So I've been a Birkbeck student. I've also been a sort of a PhD widow. My partner has just finished an 8-year part-time PhD at Birkbeck. So we're both lucky enough to have had the Birkbeck effect in our lives, and I think if anyone in this room, is able to, I mean, all of you I think support anyway, but join in supporting more or leaving a legacy or whatever. I think we all needed Birkbeck at a certain time in our lives, and Birkbeck really needs us. So thank you to Birkbeck, and thank you to all of you.